So BTC is in a little bit of a dilemma right now. Is this a swing failure of the range low being this here, to go right back up to the range? Or is this a failed auction and we're hitting resistance now, ready to go down? Okay, so we're in a bit of a dilemma. It's hard to know until it happens. I'm looking at the order flow and we're back above the VWAP, so that's the first sign of strength that I've seen. There's quite a lot of volume in these in this lower range right now, and there's liquidations on both sides. There's a little bit of absorption. There's a little bit of bullish divergence here on this latest push up from 9:45 a.m. CVD went lower, price was higher. So there's a little bit of bullish divergence here, but we are into local resistance being the breakdown area. It is possible we go up. Like, this is the thing. If shorts enter and they can get squeezed, shorts can get squeezed. Okay. So right now people were thinking, oh, this is looking really bearish, sell short, but it could just be a swing failure of the range low. The range low is clearly here. Let me mark it out. That's your range low. Yeah. Naturally, the all-time high is your range high. So you see that's a swing failure of the range low right now. See that? So there's a very clear invalidation. You don't really want to go back to the range low, and we've broken down from this pivot low here, so we're stuck. If the price can get back up there like that and then find support, then actually that's a little sign of, potentially a little sign of strength, and could possibly long that with a little bit of strength. Whereas longing now, you're longing into resistance, and the long was missed because the long is basically any one of, it's basically that range low pivot. That was a swing failure of the range low. It's basically missed. I didn't plan it, but it was missed. That was the area. You can see it was, can't you? That being said, it is possible that we just find resistance here, fall right back down and fill these single prints, and then this whole thing becomes a failed auction, which is quite bearish. Whereas what we're forming right now, which is a falling wedge, isn't that bearish. Actually, it's bullish. A little falling wedge, quite bullish. It is possible to kind of put volume here, drop, come right back up. You know, like, there are variations of this which make this bullish and not bearish, as long as we don't significantly, as long as we don't flip this range low into resistance. And I think that's the biggest test. If you flip it into resistance, then that becomes problematic, because you really have lost the range. Yeah. Whereas right now, we haven't really lost the range. We're still in the range. It's kind of a wider range. It's a price range, not a volume range, but we're within the range right now. So we're at the bottom of the range. So technically, this isn't bearish, especially with all the liquidations that I saw on XO charts, a little bit of bullish CVD. This could actually quite easily go right back in to the point of control, back into the value area, and then it could go for an attack of the highs again. So am I feeling bearish? Not really. But we are into local resistance, and so you just have to bear that in mind. It's hard to long into local resistance. It's a lot easier to long after we get a little bit of bam, little break, pull back. Be a lot easier to long here on support after resistance has been flipped into support. And the good sign is that ETH BTC is looking strong back into that range, so that gives me a clue that actually we are as weak as it looks. It looks weak, but we're not necessarily as weak. For me, BTC, the big long is further down, as I've always said. The question is, how do we get there? Do we just continuously grind down on BTC? And we get there over the weekend? Just like this, bam, bam, or something. Just kind of whatever. Oh, my bad, not all the weekend. It'll be next week. It would be next week. Do we have a drop next week just to capture that liquidity? It's possible. Looking at these weekly candles, it's possible to get a drop next, just one single drop, just to capture the liquidity, just to catch that liquidity and kind of test this breakout line level, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. Little back test of the breakout level, and that's where most of the liquidity is going to be, the breakout level. Okay, and you can see that because you have single prints, naked daily points of control, you've got the fib retracement, lots of things there that's going to hold the price, potentially hold the price up. That's kind of where I think the price is grinding down to, and that's probably why we're getting a altcoin rotation, because the altcoins know that Bitcoin is grinding down to support, which is actually good for altcoins. In price discovery, it's really good for altcoins. All right, that was a really quick BTC update. How lower? I don't know. I mean, we're into local resistance right now, but we have swing failure, the range low here. So it looks like it's just grinding down. You know, you could get this situation, and then what you want is the final drop, like a final bam drop, and pump. That's what you want for an impulse. You kind of want it to grind down and then drop and then pump type thing. That's kind of what you want to see. I don't know if it's going to go that low, but I wouldn't mind if it did. 111,500. And I don't necessarily think that altcoins are going to drop when that happens. Right now, altcoins aren't looking that weak.